I do have the odd pint, as my nephews will tell you, or the odd can, but I will make a can last the whole evening.
I don't drink myself, even though my husband drinks, occasionally, and it might be a glass of wine.
So lots of us enjoy a glass of wine or a glass of beer, whether we're out with friends or if we're at home, and that's fine. But what parents need to remember is that children are really influenced by what they see their parents do. Our research tells us that children at a very young age know a lot about alcohol. They see what their parents buy, they know what their parents' favourite drinks are, they know when people are drunk or when they're a bit tipsy. So we know that very young children, kind of primary school age children, have already learned a lot about alcohol. And we also know that that's going to influence the choices that they make as they grow up and become a teenager.
I wouldn't drink alcohol when I was older because I wouldn't want to be like the people who were drank too much alcohol.
I'm not going to drink when I'm older. I see no reasons for alcohol really.
Yeah, when older I'll drink some, but not too much.
I'm not going to drink when I'm older because it's not going to be good for me, and I'll get in trouble with the police, and I wouldn't want to be in prison.
A lot of people rely on their own upbringing and their experiences in their own family to find ways of introducing their children to alcohol. And for the older generation, that might be giving a child a very small amount of alcohol to kind of put them off because it tastes horrible. And that's kind of a strategy that some parents or some grandparents would use. And there aren't really right or wrong answers, but it is important to remember that in terms of health, it's much better to have an alcohol-free childhood, and it's important to not be giving alcohol, even in very small amounts, to children under the age of 15. If you want to be a good role model, it's really important to show children that you don't have to drink alcohol to have fun, and you don't have to drink alcohol to feel relaxed. Children mimic the behaviours they see around them. So if they see their dad going to the pub on a Friday night for a beer, they're going to assume they'll do that when they grow older, and that is going to shape the decisions they make. Think about how much you drink and what you drink, whether the children see it, because those are the things that are going to influence kids.
I think people act weird when they're drunk.
It just doesn't really look good when people are drunk and everything.
I don't like it, especially when Mum drinks. I say just a tinsy bit because of the way my dad is, and especially when he comes back. When I used to see my grandma, when he comes back, he used to sometimes fall on the floor. I used to think he was dead.
We know from our research that one of the most important things you can do is spend good quality time with your children. So spend time with them, know where they are particularly at the weekend. These are the things that are going to mean that they don't start drinking till they're older, and that when they do start experimenting with alcohol, they're not going to drink as much. So just being an active parent and spending time with your children is one of the most important things you can possibly do. Start talking to them early about the health risks associated with drinking. If you're watching something on television where alcohol's part of a storyline, that's a good way of starting to talk about the health risks that are associated with drinking, or maybe kind of the way that when teenagers drink, things can be a bit more risky, a bit more dangerous. Start talking about alcohol with your children while they're young, before they start experimenting. Don't leave them to figure it out with their friends. Parents are the single biggest influence on their children's attitudes to alcohol and their drinking habits as they grow up and become teenagers. So keep focused on what you're doing, on what your attitude to alcohol is, because that really does make a difference to them and to the chance that they will make positive choices as they grow up.